Welcome to another episode of Gaming with the Rev, Cities Skylines. This is episode 2. Today, we're going to go ahead and pick up from where we left off, and we're going to start by extending our boulevard down to the end of the tile. And now we'll switch back to the straight tool to go ahead and take it right down here to right about, now we are a boomtown. We have unlocked airports, some mass transit, the ore industry, some different policies, and it looks like we have some walking tours now along with the post service. So we'll look into that stuff here in a little bit, and now we'll get back here to finish that road real quick. And there we go. Now we'll come back up over here to our info views, and we're going to go up to check on our education. Our elementary school, we are pretty close to maxing out, so we'll go ahead and put in another elementary school. Alright, looking into our emergency shelters here, as we can see that they have a shelter capacity of 1,000 citizens. So now we're going to go to our investigation tool here on the district, and as we can see we have almost 1,600 in population here. So we would need 2 shelters to cover the citizens in this area. So we're going to go ahead and put in 2 in different locations in the district. That way they're not on top of each other, giving everybody a place to go. Now coming over the old town, we'll do the same thing. And here we have just under 1,000 people, so we just need 1 shelter for this area. So we're going to go ahead and put that in and get this area covered as well. And now we're going to go ahead and add in our short radio mast. That way our citizens will have advance notice of any incoming disasters. Alright, we just got done laying in some roads here for what will be an industrial area. We're going to make this one with a forestry specialty. So we'll just place our zone here. And then we need a name for the zone. So we're going to come over here to this little subdivision, and we're going to find a family. And, no, how about, yep, I like this. We'll use the Garnets here. We'll say they moved to the town to become forestry industrialist, and so now we're going to go ahead and rename this zone the Garnet Forest. And while we're over here, we're going to go ahead and add some more trees. With the industries, you have the forestry, the farming, ore and oil. everyone has a set amount on the map, and once you use them, they're gone. With forestry, however, you can add forestry by just placing trees, and that will strengthen the forestry district, giving you a lot more lumber in the area so you can make a lot more products out of them. So that's why we're adding the more trees here. And now we're going to go ahead and put our water pipes in, because there needs to have water availability for our businesses over here. And now that we got that area covered, we'll go ahead and just take the water pipe here down to the end of the boulevard that we have in there, just so we can branch off for when we add in other subdivisions. Planning for the future there. So now we'll come back and zone in our industry, and we'll call this area good.
Get a chance. When it does, don't hesitate.
And with the additional trees in this area, there's a lot more chances of fire, so we're going to go ahead and place a fire department down to help cover this area. Going to go ahead and put in some commercial zoning here just to help fill that demand. And now we have a few citizens that are complaining of dead bodies, so we're going to go ahead and add a cemetery here as well while we're here. Just trying to find a good spot for that. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and add in a couple parks just to help our citizens' land values and give them some place that they can go and relax. Well, we've been spending a lot of money here, so now we need to make some back. So what we're going to do now is zone in some more residential, which one will help our demand, which as you can see is pretty high, and also bring in some additional tax revenue. We have some of our citizens complaining they don't have water, but what we're going to do first is put in another road here, and then we'll come back and add the water pipes under that road, and that way we'll have coverage for them and future citizens. We have some of our new commercial zones that we just put in complaining that they don't have enough workers, so we'll continue to help them out by adding in some more residential zoning here. Alright, so the Garnet Forestry area, they're complaining that they don't have a lot of workers. So we're going to keep zoning some more residential areas for them. And we'll probably get a new subdivision right across from the Garnet Forestry area going here in just a minute. Alright, well, we have a new building here for elder care, and as we can see, our average health is about 60% with the average lifespan of 73 years. So we can add in this elder care building here, which covers most of our town, and what that does is helps our citizens live longer. Alright. We'll go ahead and go in here and start cleaning up this district a little bit by just adding what we recently zoned in here into the district. And that way everything that we have now is covered by that district. And now we'll go ahead and start laying out the road for our new subdivision.
For a small monthly sum, you can spend your final years knowing that Final Insurance has everything taken care of.
Alright, and creating this four-way intersection, remind me we need to go ahead and take a look at our road here. So we'll turn off the stoplights here, adding stop signs. We'll turn off the stoplights at this one, adding just a stop sign, and repeat the process here. And now add a stop sign onto the other side of this intersection, and now we're good. So now the boulevard has priority through the entire town, and all the side streets have to stop and give way. Alright, and now we'll get back to laying out some roads of our new subdivision. And as I tinker around with this, we're going to go ahead and speed this up just until I get the subdivision in. Alright, now that we got all the roads in, it's time to go ahead and paint our district. So we'll go ahead and get that in here. And I'm thinking we're going to do something a little different with this one. But first, we need to go ahead and get in here and name it. And we're going to go ahead and say that the Garnet Forestry has really taken off. And now the Garnets want to spread their wings into real estate. So we'll go ahead and make this the Garnet Estates. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this self-reliant homes. So what we're going to do is come in here to our residential specialization and add that feature. So now once we zone it, every house will be self-sufficient. Now you do take a hit on this from taxes you collect, but these houses also use less power, so it helps in that respect. So now we'll just go ahead and zone some of these areas here and get them going. And of course we need to bring our water pipes through, so we'll bring them down and get this area covered. Kind of a little miss the road, but we're close enough there. So we'll just run some redundant lines over here, and then we'll take this back up to the previous lines, and we have a little gap there, which is under road, which probably won't hurt things, but we'll go ahead and just put another redundant line in there to help that out. And now we gotta get some power down here, so we'll just put in this line here temporarily. Zoning this commercial in to help our commercial needs will also help jump the power, so we can remove those power lines here in just a few minutes. Alright, we'll put a park or two in just to give our citizens of the Garnett Estates somewhere to go. Dog park and a Zen garden. And while we're out looking at parks, we'll take a look around here, see if there's anywhere else we can stick one in. Yeah, we'll stick one here. Sorry about that. Commercial business, but someone will come in and take your place. Oh, and our Old Town Park is leveled up. So we're going to go ahead and come over here and add in some of the new things that we've unlocked. We've unlocked this chessboard, so we'll put that in. And then we also unlocked a couple piers, so we'll put a couple of those in a couple different places just to give our citizens somewhere to fish off of or sit around and enjoy the water. Alright, and now we're going to head, whoops, wrong tab there. We're going to go ahead and look at our park. As you can see, we have an entertainment value for the next level. We just need the visitors to show up. Our income, we're only making $72 at the park while we're spending $288. But we're going to go ahead and reduce the ticket price to $0. It's a public park. They should just be able to come in for free. So we're just, eat the cost. That's alright. And now we'll come and take a look at the Garnett Estates and our self-reliant home, and just take a look at some of them. And they're wanting education. So what we're going to do is, we have coverage for schools. They're just not going to them. And we have the two new the new elementary school and then the high school at the other end of the road. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and upgrade these roads to roads with bus lanes. And then we're going to create a bus route connecting the Garnett Estates and have stops up by the schools so they can bus their kids to school. So let's work on that here. So we're going to switch to the upgrade section, and we're going to take our road with bus lanes, and we're going to go ahead and upgrade the roads that are in front of the schools, and then come down through the Garnett Estates.
And this is Downtown Radio.
And I've decided I kind of want to make this a one-way loop around the schools. So what we're going to do is come on through the Garnett Estates and then back and create ourselves a one-way loop in this area. And as you can see, some of the roads are going in the wrong direction. What we'll do is go ahead and get everything laid down, and then we'll come back and fix those with the change direction option under our roads. And before we can put in bus stops, we need to have some buses. So we'll go ahead and add that bus depot here. And then go back down and put in some bus stops around the roads that we just put in. And the reason I did go with the one way in this direction was because it puts that bus lane now right up against the side of the road that the schools are on. So that way it stops in front of the schools and our kids don't have to run across a busy street. So now just go around and keep adding some stops. And we'll plan ahead and put some stops in for some future houses that we'll have there. We'll add some for these houses as well. And the citizens will walk from quite a distance to ride the bus. Now, on this small loop, they may not have to walk too far because it's just going to be a school bus. So we're also going to go and make sure that our buses look like school buses. So we're going to go in here and change them to the school bus. And now they'll pick up the kids. As you can see, there's a bunch pulling out in front of the schools waiting to get on. So that will hopefully help our citizens from Garnett Estates get educated. Alright, we're going to go ahead and add some more commercial zoning here, just to help fill some of that demand and give the Garnett Estates some place to do some shopping. Alright, and now we're going to come over here and add us a stop on our highway. And I do like building some myself, but for this one here, we're just going to use one of the default in-game ones just to see here. It looks like it lines up pretty good. So we'll go ahead and use that one, but we're going to have to delete some of the highway first. So we're going to pause the game while we delete the highway. And we'll go ahead and make room here for it. We pause the game just so it doesn't, disturb it too much with destroying the highway. So now they wouldn't have our citizens wouldn't have a way in or out of our town. And so we're going to go ahead and get that lined up here. Right there seems like it's a good spot. And now we'll come back with the highway and tie it all back together. And since I don't like the way it lines up on this side, we're going to go ahead and delete some more out. And then we'll create a nice curve back into the existing highway. So we'll switch to the curve tool from our roads. We'll come up until we hit a road guideline. There it is. And then we'll select, and then we'll go ahead and tie it back in. And then what we're going to do is come back, and even though it's going to be running the wrong way, it is a lot easier to kind of keep the highways even, to start from the same side and just reverse the direction once we get it down. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. And we'll get all that lined up. And now that everything's back, we can actually unpause the game here, because now we're not going to be causing issues on the highway. But first, what we'll do is we'll go back to the upgrade section here, and we'll actually downgrade to 2 lanes after the exit and before the exit back on, and use a little road mathematics. It's a trick I picked up from Bippa watching his traffic fixes, and since this is a vanilla build, we don't have the mods for lane management, so we do this. That way there's a dedicated turn lane on our ramps. Alright, so we have the highway entrance over there now, but now we need an entrance from the other part of town. So what I'm going in here is I'm going in to set our elevation on our roads so they're not as steep and we can have a gradual incline. Oh, well, we got power outages, so we probably need to take care of that first. So we'll go ahead and see. Nope, no new power plants yet, so we'll put another coal plant in. And we'll go ahead and bring that back up here where we have our others and add that to. Alright, that takes care of our power problems. Alright, so back to building our road here. And like I said, I was changing the elevation so we can make a gradual incline instead of having a steep bridge to cross our river here. And again, I fiddle around with this for a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and speed it up so it's not as long as it took me to actually build. I was just trying to make this road without as many ups and downs on it as possible, and it was kind of tedious trying to get everything to line up and work out so it wasn't just a bunch of hilly bridges, which doesn't seem very realistic. So that's why I spent the extra time here to make sure that I got it just right. Alright, and now what we're going to do is build ourselves a roundabout for our highway. So what I did is I use the road guidelines to place this road, and now I'm going up the center. That way I have my roundabout centered on the two branches of the highway there. And now I'm just going to sit here and, nope, I didn't like that. I want the roundabout a little far back, so I'm going to use where I'm at. And to get my spacing right, I'm just going to come out here, and I'm going to go down 10, and then my leg there, I'll bring that down so it matches, and now I can delete the rest. And then what I'll come back and do is go 10 units in each direction from there. So I have a little plus sign now in the middle that's 10 units in each direction. And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to use my industrial roads after I turn on the curve tool here, and I'm going to use them to make my roundabout, because this is going to have a farm, and then I think we'll have some forestry over here too on one side. So I'm just going out my 10 units, hit the road guideline, and then it creates a curve, so we have our perfect circle there. And then I'm going to leave those roads I used in the middle here for just a few minutes. That way when I tie in my highway roads, it doesn't make the roundabout go egg-shaped. So now that I got that changed, I will go ahead and upgrade my roads here on the highway down to a 2-lane. That way each ramp has a dedicated lane, and they can pick that lane anywhere on there and go to whichever way they want to go on the highway. So now that I got the highway connected, we'll come back out of here and we're going to go over to our 4-lane roads, and we're going to again use the industrial road. Switch back to straight here. Oops, get back over there and get that. And I'm just going to create a 10 unit off of the roundabout in each direction, giving us our entry points to the roundabout. And then once we get those in, we can come back and delete the bracing for our roundabout. And now that we got that in, I'm going to take this leg here and tie it into the road that we had just built in the time lapse, and then that connects it to the highway as well. So now we have 2 highway connections for our town. And now just kind of getting the lay of the land of where I want to put things. I'm going to come back over and get our zoning, and we're going to zone over this farming land, or this fertile farmland right now. And the darker the yellow, the more fertile it is, which means that'll give us our best crop yields. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this stuff that's not fertile at all, because under the farming industry, it does have some buildings that don't actually have to be on the farm, on the fertile land, but still need to be inside the zone for the farm. Some of the factories and such. So we'll zone some areas so we don't use the farmland, but we do have some areas in the farm zone for them. So now we're going to got that laid out. We're going to come back to our roads and kind of map out the roads for the area.
Jimmy and the Stallion. Stable entertainment only on Cities Radio.
Can you hear it? Listen closely. It's the sound of refreshment. Pop soda refreshment.
Alright, quick change of plans real quick. As we are going to be building the farm, they're going to need workers for the farm, so might as well go ahead and set up our subdivision down here close to the farm. That way they'll have some residents that are able to go to the farm and work once we get it built. Alright, and now it's time to go ahead and zone our district. I am going a little farther here because I am going to come back and add a road that goes down close to the river there, so we can have some people that live close to the water. Of course, now that we're building this new subdivision, they are going to need power and they are going to need water. So we'll come back over here to our Garnet Forest area and help pull power from there over to our new area. And we're just going to run these lines right up against our bridge area. And we're going to have to come down a little bit farther so we can get them across the road without jacking the power lines way up in the air. So we'll just come down to here and run that across. There we go. And now, of course, like I said, we'll also have to add water. So we'll go to our water pipes and we'll run those under the road there. And we'll bring those back down the bridge back to our original boulevard where we had run them all the way down from before. And of course, we need to name our farm, so we're gonna use the Sunnyside family there, and we will rename our farm the Sunnyside Farms. Alright, we have a high commercial demand, so we'll go ahead and zone that right here. So also giving our newest residents of Madison Square a place to go shopping. And now we'll come back up to our roundabout and we'll switch over to our 4-lane roads for the industry, and we'll drag that out about 13-14 units. And we'll place that down, and now we'll switch back to our 2-lane roads and start laying out a road network here for our farming industry. Alright, we're going to need some power for the farm, so instead of running power lines to start with, we're going to start by using just a wind turbine, just to bring power to the area. And now we're going to go ahead and come down to our industrial area and go to the farm, and we have to place this farmhouse and before we can do anything else. Once we place the farmhouse, it unlocks the small fields and a couple other buildings to start with. But before we get too far, our house is complaining of water and power, so we'll run some more water lines under the roads, of course, and we'll take that back down to the Madison Square subdivision and tie in there for now. But it also looks like our water and sewage treatment is getting low, so we're going to have to add more of those as well here in a minute. Alright, now we're going to put in some fields, and as you can see, depending on where you put it, it has an estimated production rate. And right here, as we move around into less fertile areas, that rate does go down. So the first ones we put in are estimated 48 tons, and as we move a little farther down, that drops. But that's alright. We will be able to add more farms in other areas as we go. Adding the farms took care of the power problem. They got it to jump. And while we're over here, we're going to head and add some cattle farms. They don't need to be on the fertile land. They just need the resources that the other farms produce. So we'll put those in. And of course they are complaining they need water, even though we have the water pipe. So it's time to add some more water. And we're going to go ahead and put in a water tower here in our roundabout. And then we'll run the pipes from there right into the pipes that we've already laid. And then we'll have to run some power lines from our wind turbine back over to there, so that will start producing water. And then now the farms there will... Oh, we got people complaining of the sewers, so we need to go ahead and add in another... Oh, we got a lot of garbage complaints too, so we'll put that in first. So we'll put in second landfill in, because our first one, as you can see, is full. And while we're in here, we might as well put in a recycling center just to give us something else, because those won't get full, but they don't collect as much garbage either. But that will help alleviate the demand from the dump. And now we'll go back over to our water treatment, and we'll get another inland water treatment center placed. And as we still have a high demand for residential, we'll go ahead and come back and find some more areas here that we can zone in the Madison Square district, and then let those houses fill in. And now we'll come back over and take a look at our farm here. As we can see, we have a couple pastures now and resources being dropped off to them. One thing that we still do need that we have is these grain silos. So we'll go ahead and put a couple of those in, just so they can harvest the field, run them to the grain silos, and then the grain silos will then in turn take some of the grain to our pastures, so that our pastures have what they need to feed feed their livestock. Couple of our silos still need power, so we'll go ahead and run some power lines from our wind turbine to them. And then what we'll go ahead and do is cross the road here and bring it down to Madison Square, and that also will add in the wind turbine into our electrical grid from our coal power plants. So it kind of completes the circuit for now. Alright, we still have a high residential demand, so we're just going to come in here and just start adding in a new subdivision off the Garnett Estates. And we'll just get that laid in here, and then we'll go from there. Alright, we'll come take a look at our Old Town Park here and just see how things are going. And we'll just zoom in here and go to our identify tool, select the main park gate, and we'll go take a look. Alright, so we're pretty close to leveling up. So as soon as we level up, we'll come back here and add in our new buildings that we get with level 3.
This is Downtown Radio, and I'm Troy.
Alright, and now we're going to come back over here with our district tool and start going over some of the new roads we just added and create a new district.
Better versions of ourselves, and sometimes, when we least expect it, a door opens and we get a chance. When it does, don't hesitate. Opportunity doesn't knock twice. Time for the next song.
Alright, and now that we got that in there, I think that's a good spot for today. So let's go ahead and have a look around town. Once again, this has been The Rev. I thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please feel free to share it with anyone that likes City Skylines. Again, thank you, and have a great day.